Sex ed is a requirement for all middle and high school students in New York. It's been a rule in the city since 2011, but Tuesday, elected officials gathered at City Hall to discuss whether schools are actually adhering to the mandate, since nobody, including the Department of Education, has been keeping track.
Ever since sex education was first introduced in the city schools, implementation has been a problem.
The city defends the program, saying there have been improvements as a result of the new classes.
We're seeing far lower rates of positive pregnancy tests.
Still, they confess it's not all good news.
Among city students, rates of teen pregnancy are down, but rates of sexually transmitted diseases have skyrocketed.
The rate for chlamydia infection in 2013 for females between 13 and 19 in New York City was 2,300 reported infections per 100,000.
Sex ed is supposed to be taught in health classes during 6th or 7th grade, and then again in 9th or 10th grade. It's up to school principals to make sure it actually happens, but city council members say the Department of Education should play a role.
Someone needs to be held accountable, someone needs to be held responsible.
Education officials do acknowledge that even the schools offering sex ed may not be teaching it comprehensively enough.
I think that the educational process has to be more intensive. I think it has to include not only knowledge but skills.
City council members have introduced 3 bills that would require the Department of Education to keep detailed records on whether schools are teaching sex ed, and if so, what they are teaching and who is teaching it.
I also know friends who have dropped out of schools because of pregnancy, and these schools had no sex education offered at all because the teachers said none of us were qualified to teach it.
Advocates are hoping the City Council is able to pass the bills into law by next spring, forcing the Department of Education to start monitoring whether schools are actually giving the information they should be. At City Hall, Kyleigh Panetta, New York 1.